Alright everyone, for dinner tonight, we're going to be making a one-pot pasta, chicken Alfredo. Here are most of the ingredients right here before you. Just some pasta, chicken broth, cream, seasonings, bacon. You could omit this if you wanted, or you can even add chicken, or whatever protein, or no protein at all. You can do whatever you want really with this. It's kind of hard to mess up, I would say. First we're going to brown the bacon. Get it crispy. Cut it into smaller pieces just to render out a little bit more fat. I think this is called lardon. It'd be smaller pieces. But anyways, I'm going to crisp this up. Most of the cooking for this is kind of hands off. Once you get the pasta and everything added up to it, it's just boiling away and you're waiting for it to finish cooking. With the pasta, you could do any kind of like hearty noodle. I'm using penne. You could do something like rigatoni, the large cylindrical noodle, or elbow if you want to do like an elbow kind of thing. Really, all chicken Alfredo or bacon Alfredo in this case is just adult mac and cheese. So anyways, that's kind of what you're doing. We're going to brown this up. We're going to crisp it up until, and we can go pretty hard on this because we're adding liquid immediately to this, along with like all the seasoning and everything. So we can go pretty hard and not be too, we don't have to be too fickle about it. And this is one pot too, so this will save you a little bit of time with the dishwashing station and everything. Preemptively, I had a bag of the shredded Parmesan cheese. That's okay to use. You could even use the green can Parmesan cheese as well. I think it'd be a little bit gummy, but you know, if that's what you got, that's what you got. The problem with the bag of shredded cheese is they add an anti-caking agent, usually in the form of potato starch. And that's great if you don't want your cheese to stick together after it's been cut. But it's not so great if you want it to melt. So, that's kind of the idea of the starch from the pasta, to kind of help it from clumping. You get that weird clumpy mess of Parmesan if you like add it all in one go. So we'll get to that later, but I'll kind of show you a little bit on how to slowly incorporate that, make sure your cheese isn't too goopy. Again, if it is goopy, it's still going to taste alright. Just be a texture thing, but you know, it's whatever for your perfectionists out there. Okay, we will, typically you would drain most of the bacon fat from this. I don't mind it. I just think it's a little bit of extra flavor. But yeah, if you want to drain this or, again, omit the protein, you could do that as well. You could also use like some fresher ingredients, like some fresh crushed cloves of garlic, chopped up, minced up and everything, throw that in here. But again, you can see I'm on that I'm on that budget. I'm on that budget, so that's what's happening here. Browning this up, getting some nice fat flavor out of that. Be good to go into the dish, and hopefully by the end of this it'll turn into a nice creamy one cohesion pasta dish. And there won't be any draining after this is done either, because the liquid that you're adding to it, the chicken broth, better if it's, you know, home done, but you know, I didn't have that. Cream. I could also add milk if it looks a little bit dry. But the beauty of this is the liquids that you add here, they get absorbed into the pasta, and that makes it easier for that cheese to melt more properly, because the starch of the pasta, I mean, you've seen all the videos where it says, save your starchy water from cooking your pasta. Yeah, and, you know, that's true. In anything that I've done, I've seen if I save the starchy water just a little bit and I add it to it, it becomes a more creamy situation. Alright, we're looking pretty good here. Got the bacon fat in there and it's crisping up nice. We're getting ready to add the liquid here. Be careful, of course, it's fat and liquid. Take that off for just a second. And we'll add our chicken broth. Back on, we'll get this to a boil. Go down there. Back up to a boil. We're also going to add the cream here. If you didn't have this, you could substitute with milk. Obviously, cream will be creamier. Hence the name. At this point, I would also add the seasonings that I have over there, which is what I will do. Feel free to do whatever you want with that. You could even make it a little bit spicy, maybe add a little bit of cayenne or, I don't know, paprika or something, because red tastes better, you know that. Okay, just a little bit of seasoning. We don't want to go too hard because the bacon is already salty enough. Just adding a little bit. And, you know, green. You gotta add green. Sure, whatever. Alright. Okay, we're gonna bring this up to a boil. Oh, actually, we'll add our pasta as well. And again, all that liquid should soak up into the pasta itself. And that's what we're waiting for. So, get this up to a boil. Alright guys, so we had it at a boil for 15 to 20 minutes and we're getting it down. You can see how the liquid has like really thickened up, and that's with the starch from the pasta, milk and everything evaporating away. This is at a good point to where I like to add my cheese. Now, the key to this, or at least that I found, is to kind of add the cheese in batches. You could turn off the heat or turn the heat down low if you're braver than I am, but I'm just going to turn the heat off and move it to the side completely off of the heat. And this is where I'm going to add the cheese, and I'm going to add it in kind of small batches, not all at once, and I'm going to rigorously stir as I'm doing that. Just trying to make sure that everything is incorporated at the same time, as opposed to dumping it all in and you get like this weird blocky glob form of cheese. That's no good. So you're just gonna add it in increments like I'm doing. You can already see that it's already like thickening up properly. You can turn it until it's looking like a proper Alfredo already, and that's what we want. You hear that? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, cheese, cheese, cheese. You could serve this with just like some of the frozen, like Texas toast or something that you have, or bread or whatever you want to do, or you can just have it by itself. This is getting to a good consistency that I like. Oh my! Oh my! And yeah, this is about good here, and I'll use the rest of this cheese for topping. Yeah, we'll just make sure that we're all good here. A nice, creamy sauce. Okay. Pull some out and get a little bit for a bite. Oh! Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. right here. Yeah. And the starch all down, boiled down from the pasta into like the liquid, and making that starchy environment to help the cheese melt properly as opposed to in a glob. Anyways, let's try this out here. Oh my gosh. Now the bacon there, you could go even crispier than I did. Slight smokiness from the bacon. Cheesy, creamy, perfect pasta, and one pot. So if you're into that kind of thing, there you go. Anyways, that's it, guys. One pot bacon Alfredo. Enjoy.